Well, the markets are up again to new, probably all-time highs, maybe across the board. Certainly the NASDAQ and the S&P. Not sure about the Dow, but all three are up nicely. Not a lot. Not a lot of news, of course, given the government shutdown. Other than, I don't know, peace in Gaza, continuing to make directionally going in the right direction. We have Tesla up a little bit this morning. Should be up more given the absolutely stunning kinds of news. Anyway, let's just jump into my theory this morning. Think about how crazy this is. Apple, Amazon, and NVIDIA were fine companies with solid sales and profits prior to their explosions into mega cap companies. Each of these storied moves were due to a breakthrough that, changed everything. We've all remember watching this process. I can definitely remember watching. Tesla is now in that position, even with a market cap of 1.5 trillion. The iPhone, AWS, and the GPU moment for Tesla has not yet unfolded. And Tesla has not just one, but two of these accelerators on the cusp of hitting the market. Robotaxi and Optimus each have smart investors and lots of analysts predicting that each one will be the largest revenue and profit generators ever. And this is on top of the solid revenues and earnings from cars and energy. Just like with Apple, Amazon, and NVIDIA, there are those of us who are poised to grab the golden ring. And as Dan and I have said recently, the next 9 months is really key. And it was on this channel where I first talked about everything coming together in 2026, long before anybody else suggested that 2026 was going to be the key year. And guess when that was? That was in April of 2023 when I first did a video on it. You can go back and check it out. Go back to April. I want to say it was 11th, but I'm not sure of that. Sawyer Merritt has this morning. He says, look, the Model Y standard deliveries will indeed be happening in November in Europe. So for those of you who wondered if the news was correct about Europe that we had on the show the other day, no, they are definitely going to do Model Y standards starting in November. The difference between the standard, however, and the premium in Europe is $11,500. So I don't know why it's so much more different in terms of the price points between the Model Y standard and the Model Y premium. Don't know, but 11,500 separates those two. This is an odd one. I haven't run into Market Screener before, but in a research note they note that in a research note published by Tom Narayan from RBC, he advises customers to buy Tesla, buy Tesla, buy Tesla. The target price, he just has increased his back to 500. I think he was at 500 before. He went down to 325. He's back. He's back and says, no, the stock is going to be at $500. TD Cowen analyst 𝐒𝐚𝐿 raised their firm's price target for Tesla from 374 to 509, a 36% increase, while reiterating a buy rating. Key reasons for the increase: strong Q3 deliveries. Tesla's Q3 vehicle deliveries significantly exceeded expectations, driven by customers rushing purchases out of the $7,500 federal tax credit. Positive stock catalysts. Recent stock gains are fueled by the delivery beat, the proposed Elon Musk compensation package, including ambitious goals and which will boost long-term confidence, and ongoing advancements in autonomous vehicles and artificial intelligence. Notice there's nothing about Optimus in there. I mean, it says AI, but come on. Muted near-term outlook. The firm views 2026 expectations as fairly muted. I don't, due to broader EV market pressures supporting a positive stance. Earnings revisions, slight upward adjustments that are 2025 EPS estimates with modest increases for later years based on Q3 results and additional recent data. But I tried like crazy to find out what those EPS changes were, and I was not successful. This is one of those things that they sent out to their list. Valuation model update. The new discounted cash flow based PT a price target incorporates a higher EBITDA terminal value multiple of 30x, up from 15x, reflecting greater confidence in AV full self-driving deployment potential and the scarcity value of AV exposure. Where's Optimus? Okay, then at 𝐒𝐿𝐐HE, G-F-I-L-C-H-E on X, he says this: early prediction markets for Tesla Q4 deliveries are 444,000. And he says it'll be interesting to see how that evolves. Well, 444,000 would be a lot lower than my expectations. I think we're going to make an easy 500, might even be quite a bit above 500. The consensus right now for earnings for the third quarter is 54. For the third quarter is 54 cents, and for the fourth quarter is 48 cents. Now, tell me how to figure this out, because we know that even if they're right and the car number drops to 444,000, the energy number is almost certainly going to go up, which would mean that the overall EPS should be at least as high as the third quarter, and the third quarter number is too low by at least a dime and maybe 20 cents, and maybe more than that. Tesla themselves, this is from Tesla. Breaking: Korea's September import car sales data has been released. Tesla Korea delivered 9,069 vehicles to customers in September. That is, I guess, the highest number in years, a monthly number. This is from, I have no idea what that is. This is from Bar Chart. Something got in there that's very odd. Anyway, sorry. I broke the third wall or fifth wall or something. Baird analyst 𝐭𝐿𝐲 lifted his rating from neutral to outperform. 𝐒𝐿𝐲 also raised his price target from 320 to 548, marking 25% potential upside from current levels. The analyst sees the story driven by a suite of forward-looking catalysts, from the reveal of the next-gen Optimus to robotaxis. He mentions Optimus, the Tesla Semi, the energy business expansion, and lower-cost electric vehicles, and more, he says. So from this is 320 to 548 from Baird. So that's three different price increase or price target increases this morning. 3 in one day. Tesla Roddy has this: Wedbush's Dan Ives put out a new note, a note a day about Tesla from Dan. The AI valuation will start to get unlocked in the Tesla story, and we believe the march to an AI-driven valuation for Tesla over the next 6 to 9 months has now begun, in our view, with FSD and autonomous penetration of Tesla's installed base and the acceleration of Cybercab in the U.S., representing the golden goose for Musk and company. Take a breath, would you please, Dan? I mean, sheesh, that's a long sentence. We believe Tesla could reach a $2 trillion market cap earlier in 2026, as he said in yesterday's note, and the bull case scenario for $3 trillion at the end of 2026. My bull case is double that. As we get into volume production of autonomous vehicles and robotics roadmap. Importantly, we believe the China story is starting to improve markedly for Tesla, which should be a tailwind for Musk. We believe, Musk and company, we maintain our outperform rating and a $600 price target for now. China raw material rule is another shot across the bow. This would be referring to the fact that China is playing games again with raw earths. Most of the information that I was able to gather about this seems like it's gamemanship between China and the U.S. right now, as they're getting into the last bastions of this conversation about the trade agreement. He says Tesla is insulated. The Chinese government announced that it was tightening its controls on exports of rare earths as the country looks to claim broader jurisdiction over global technology manufacturing. Since China produces over 90% of the world's processed rare earths and rare earth magnets, we believe that Tesla's massive presence in China on this front is a relative good sign for Musk and company, as Tesla's Shanghai Gigafactory produces a significant amount of the global vehicles, while rare earth minerals remain a crucial component for multiple products within the Tesla ecosystem, including Optimus. While Tesla could get periods, it would be helpful. While Tesla could still get denied or dented by this raw material tightening in China, the company is best positioned among U.S. automakers to navigate any speed bumps on this front. China's tightening grip on the sector from only raw materials to from not only raw materials but also intellectual property and technologies will have a ripple effect on the auto industry, as these materials are crucial for the productions of computer chips, brakes, seats, and other critical components within vehicles. Automakers have long been trying to reduce their dependence on China for rare earth minerals, with GM and Stellantis forming strategic partnerships with U.S. and European rare earth mineral companies. But these supply chains have yet to be fully integrated and achieve scale. We also believe the bark can be worse than the bite for China rules, as this continued to be a game of poker. Oh, that's right. Dan Ives agrees with me. It's just part of the thing going back and forth. The lower cost vehicles announced earlier this week came after Tesla put its plans for the $25,000 car on hold to launch its cheaper stripped down Model 3Y versions, which we believe is a good strategic move. Don't know why. Don't think that there was still going to be a $25,000 vehicle. Everybody thought it would be a 29 maybe, or even a 35. We believe the launch of a lower cost model represents the first step to getting back to the 500,000 quarterly delivery run rate. At the end of the day, that Tesla story will be driven by AI future as volume production for cybercabs and Optimus take hold in 2026. We do not believe that China raw material issues change the timing of these key issues. Whew. This is Randy Kirk. Please take care of business and help the channel. Bloomberg attempts to compile the jobs numbers for the week because, the government is shut down. There's no jobs numbers. So they were able to go out and just call the states, just like the government would have done, and say, hey, how many people were added to the unemployment rolls? They came in at 233,000. So if their number is correct, that would be a little bit higher than the average, but not really outside the range. We've had bigger numbers and smaller numbers in recent weeks. Then we've got the University of Michigan's Consumer Sentiment Report, which is the mid-month report. Remember, this is based on less than 300 interviews to get these numbers. Consumer sentiment moves sideways this month. At 55 index points, sentiment is virtually unchanged from September. Improvements this month in current personal finances and year-ahead business conditions, but those were offset by declines and expectations for future personal finances, as well as current buying conditions for durables. So in other words, not as many plans to buy durables. Overall, consumers perceive very few changes in the outlook for the economy from last month. Now, remember this durables thing. I'm going to keep harping on this. We get these 2 more interest rate cuts by the end of the year. You're going to start seeing people buying their, the one spouse or the other is going to say, we really need to go out and get that refrigerator we've been putting off, and that could be my Christmas present. Pocketbook issues like high prices and weakening job prospects remain at the forefront of consumers' minds. At this time, consumers did not expect meaningful improvement in these factors. Meanwhile, interviews reveal little evidence that the ongoing federal government shutdown has moved consumers' view of the economy at all. Year-end inflation expectations ebbed from 4.7. Year ahead, 4.7. Last month was still high, 4.6 this month, which is just stupid. Long-run inflation expectations held steady at 3.7. Inflation expectations for both time horizons are about midway between the reading seen a year ago and the highs, the nutty highs in April and May. I mean, there's just like nothing. There's like nothing except for headlines that would cause anybody to think those numbers are going to happen. Go Banking. This is somebody else I haven't ever quoted before. Go Banking asked ChatGPT where you could buy a home with a $2,000 per month expense. Can't everybody, anybody that's got 2 incomes in their family can afford $2,000 a month. And a ton of people with 1 income can afford $2,000 a month. This is something I've been saying all along, but these guys are just confirming it. ChatGPT started with the fundamentals, explaining that $2,000 a month can mean very different things. At current mortgage rates of 6% and change for a 30-year fixed loan, $2,000 a month will get you a $417,000 house with 20% down. Now you got that $83,000 down, so you got to have that money and probably another $5,000 for closing and whatnot. So that might be the thing that's getting in your way. So maybe you borrow that from grandma. But if you need to include property taxes, insurance, and HOA fees in that budget, you might be talking $334,000 instead. Then ChatGPT provided markets all over the United States that had plenty of inventory right now for $334,000 or for $400,000. By the way, there's lots of inventory of condos at $200,000 and $250,000. Sorry, millennials. Sorry, Gen Z. I'm not buying your sad story about never being able to buy or afford a house. You might have to change locations. You might have to pick up and go to someplace where the houses are cheaper, and that's not always fun. And maybe you don't want to do it. But if you want a house, you can get a house. Here's the most interesting news story of the day by a lot. This is from Mario Nawfal, and he's quoting Putin. Putin, the Nobel Peace Prize has lost its credibility, says Putin. It's not my decision to make who gets the award. There were cases when this committee discussed the Nobel Peace Prize for people who have done nothing for the world. In my opinion, they have caused harm with these decisions. They've caused tremendous damage to the credibility of the award. Is the current president of the United States worthy or unworthy? I don't know. He really does a lot to solve such complex problems, crises that last for years or even decades. He sincerely aspires for this crisis in the Ukraine to be resolved. This is from Putin. You have to love it. Rasmussen's overnight number for President Trump, 55 plus. His 5-day jumps to 51. He was 46 just a week ago. Now he's all the way back to 51. I guess maybe some people are recognizing that this is a very big deal. The Trueflation overnight, 221, and the year over year, 222. Take away 0.4, remember, we're in under 2 if you take away 0.4 for the tariffs. Okay, here we go with, we got the wrong thing here. Let's go ahead and go to Tesla, which is only up 0.19% this morning at 436.38. It's been up higher. It's been down lower. But right now it's just kind of going sideways like the rest of the market. Dow Jones up 0.41. We've got the NASDAQ up 0.22, S&P up 0.23. So even though everything's up, it's kind of sideways. And it's just, you've heard those 3 price target improvements for Tesla. You heard the Korean numbers. You know that we had China numbers were the best that they've been in quarters and quarters and months. And this is where Tesla is right now. I'm sorry. Somebody's got to get a clue. We've got the Magnificent Seven in various states. NVIDIA now at 195. Look at that. VIX is well under 17 at 1640. And the Cathie Woods are all down this morning. Now, that's kind of shocking because I just looked at the bonds, and the bonds are, well, let's take a look. Here we go. The bonds are at down 5 basis points to 4.098. Still looking like getting down under 4 in the month of October. It's only the 10th today. You got 21 days to get under 4. I think we're going to get there. So there you go. That's good news. So why are all the Cathie Woods down? That's really bizarre. All right, gold. By the way, you know what I'm talking about there. If you don't, please let me know in the comments and I'll talk about it again one day. Gold is hanging in there. My analysis is hanging in there. We're up $28.70 this morning, but we're sitting at $4,001. So we'll see. I think we're going down 10%. I think we're going to 3,600. Silver up 2.77 this morning, though. That would be the opposite of what I'm saying. So 48.46. Copper up 0.7, and that's at $5.16. I think that might be a recent high. Oil prices edged down. I'm going to tell you that, nope, I can't tell you that. I thought I was going to have some news for you, breaking news. But anyway, let's go back. I don't have that breaking news. Oil dramatically down because of peace in the Mideast, according to the headline at least. We're sitting at $60 this morning. Natural gas down 2.94% at $3.17. Might also be impacting by peace breaking out. We've got the dollar mixed, of course. We've got Bitcoin only up 357 today, but sitting here okay at 121.4. And Ethereum is up 0.05% at 4,335. I feel like I missed something, but I think I guess that's everything. Okay, we got them all. All right, so what do we got coming up today? As far as I know, we got Larry Goldberg coming up at the early, like around 4 o'clock probably. And then what do we got for tonight? I really don't know for sure. I've got a bunch of irons, a bunch of folks that I'm talking to about doing a show for tonight. We'll see which one of those comes through. I definitely also have a bunch of those conversations happening with folks that might be over the weekend. So, the regular characters, CERN Basher, Phil Beisel, even Jeff Lutz. Jeff Lutz says he's got a little bit of time in his schedule and he's ready to come back and do a show here on this channel. So we can look forward to Jeff Lutz, whether that'll be over the weekend or next week. I don't know yet. Okay, let's go back just for giggles and look at last night. Oh, last night. Let's see. CERN Basher. Duh. You want to go back and check out CERN because, of course, it was phenomenal and everybody loved it. But I think it was a kind of on the low side of the numbers for CERN. I was kind of shocked. So I'll put that card up and it was good. It was solid, but it just wasn't phenomenal. So you probably didn't see it yet. Go back and check it out. All right, let's see what Tesla's doing here after that brief interlude. Well, it's doing better than it was, up 0.26 now, almost to 437. I continue to believe we'll be 500 by Halloween. This has been Randy Kirk. It's been great talking to you.